Hello, my gorgeous babes. So my name is Casey Connolly, and I'm with Astrologically Sound. It's great to see you again. So this is a continuation of my Mercury Retrograde video for August, September, October 2022. And as promised from my second video, I was going to come back with the re-words because they, I've heard a lot of astrologers say, and I agree that Mercury Retrograde is a great opportunity to think up what the RE words are. So So I have a good number of them that I kind of did a think tank and I thought about them. And so I have the re words plus some taglines to go with them that are hopefully entertaining and helpful that tie into Mercury Retrograde. And so I'm hoping that this will help your thought processes, get your noggin crunching on the numbers too, and kind of like think about during Mercury retrograde, these are things that words and themes and suggestions that would be helpful for you to be mindful of or practice or spin into motion during Mercury retrograde for yourself. So, all right, this is how we're gonna do it. And I must do a shout out to my mother, Mary Lou, because she helped me do the other like third or half of them because I knew that I was missing a bunch. And so she helped brainstorm a bunch at the end. So that was awesome. Overall, thing. So first one is and I have please just a little disclaimer that I might have made up a few or fudged English a little bit, but it's okay. We're just gonna go with it. So first one is reorganize, and then the tagline was labels anyone, Marie Kondo style. So yeah, so reorganizing. So is your pantry out of whack? Is your laundry room a mess? Does your office need reorganizing? Is something need a little bit more Virgo, OCD, minimalism? Do you need to purge some stuff around you? Do you have paperwork at your office that needs to be refiled in a better system? You know, embrace it. Embrace the Virgo. Virgo's is ruled by Mercury. Number 2 is reestablish, get better footing. So if you felt kind of wonky, that you had, if there's something in your life that you didn't feel very grounded, like I was saying in the second video, getting grounded, but reestablish. So, I just thought of another word, reasserting yourself or reassertion. So, but yeah, reasserting, reestablishing, go back and plant those feet in the ground and just, go back on this scene and reestablish your presence on whatever that might mean for you. Number 3 is reassess, get the lay of the land. So with this is like get your binoculars out, your telescope, and get the lay of the land. Reassess the situation. Mercury, when he's away from his desk or his throne, he's not going to be making sure that everything's real smooth and that the details are checked and rechecked as easily or as smoothly. So it's really good to be aware, kind of like not just assuming everything's good, but actually knowing everything's good by actually touching it with your own hands or seeing it with your own eyeballs and not expecting other people to have done it or expecting it that it's just okay. So reassessment. And then this is another great one, edit the heck out of your projects. So for people who are having book projects, because again, the third archetype was Mercury, third house, Gemini, Virgo. And I just realized I did not include Virgo in my first, oh my God, in my first, oh Lord, video, because I was doing the third archetype and that's the sixth archetype. Wow. Well, it's my first series. I'll have to fix that. I'll have to do an addendum. but because Mercury co-rules Gemini and Virgo, and I had realized that, but I hadn't added the 6th house. Anyways, but so anyways, so with the 3rd house and Mercury, it's all about talking, it's about publication, it's about a lot of, like, if you have a book project, if you have a lot of because it's correspondences, so it's like if you need to re-edit, make sure that your spelling is correct, that if you have a manuscript, if you have like a written project, or even if it's a video, like oh my god, I just realized that I had to re-edit my video on the re-edit card. Oh my god, that's funny. You think I did that on purpose, but I didn't. Holy Lord, that's really funny. Okay, yeah, it's pre-shadow phase in the Mercury retrograde thing, so everything's in alignment so far. Here we go. So yeah, re-edit. Make sure you go over your make sure everything's the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, because it helps. Redo. Twice is better, but 3's the charm. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to redo that whole first video, but I think I'll just edit another part to it and make it funnier or something. So, but redos are good because we're human, and to fail miserably, it's it's just to be human sometimes. But no, we make mistakes, and that's okay. Just got to giggle about it and say oopsies and get back up and dust yourself off. So redos are good. They're human. Yep. And Mercury retrograde is a great time to be like, you know what? This shit is not working very well and it needs to be redone. So number 6 is realchemize. If you're not happy with it, then you have the power to change it, So realchemization, we are the maestro, we are the magician, we have our hands on the wheel of our own destiny. I said that, I think, in the second video. So realchemize, and I love that word alchemize. It's like the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius normally, and I'm very Sagittarian. So if you're not happy with what's going on in your life during Mercury retrograde or any time, then you have the power to change it. So if you're mixing one thing with the other and you're not happy with the result of the third thing, then change what you're mixing in order to make a third better thing. Okay. Cool. Readjust. That's a good reword too. So number 7 is restock. Take stock of your situation. So it's like restocking shelves, if like your pantry or at work, things like you might find out that inventory wasn't properly notated, and like, oops, we have nothing of everything, and so things have to be restocked, like really hardcore if that's one of your jobs at work, but also not so literally, like take stock of your situation. Again, don't assume that other people are at the wheel. Make sure that you know what's going on. Recentering, find your core. It reminds me of the yoga that I had talked about with the grounding, like literally your core, or like the I do singing, so I actually do I do yoga breathing. I think my voice teacher has been teaching me how to do that. So deep breathing that people do actually do with yoga, and so you could do even sitting down, but to help the core strengthen, But recentering, it's like when there is mad chaos during Mercury retrograde, because it involves the mind, the voice, communications, small trips around town that your car is breaking down or whatever. You're having fights with your siblings because the 3rd house represents siblings. Someone stole your bike because the neighborhoods are also represented by that, and sticky fingers could be, whatever. I'm not manifesting that for anybody, but I've heard stories of this happening before. But with all that chaos, it's really good to just center, recentering, find your core, to be that center of that chaotic centrifuge, It's like being the sun where that everything else revolves around. So refortifying, strengthen your goals. It's like being your own castle, because in the tower card in tarot, the tower never comes down unless it has a faulty structure, a faulty foundation. So if you refortify that foundation and make sure it's strong and fortified, then your tower will never be a tower. You'll never have the tower moment, and whatever mini tower moments, whether big, medium, or large, that happen in Mercury retrograde season, they're learning opportunities, and so you'll be able to strengthen your tower, whatever life area that happens to be for you. And then rebuild, start from scratch. And again, that's the foundation of your tower. So whatever life area that's showing up that's having problems during the retrograde, this is where you can start rebuilding your foundation. Make it much sturdier, much more able to weather storms in retrograde seasons, other transits. But basically what put an equal sign, so retrogrades and transit seasons equals cycles that happen in life to help us learn, grow, expand, and evolve. And they're learning opportunities. So it's not astrology doing it to you. It is just things that happen in life to all human beings. And they're learning opportunities for growth and expansion. Sometimes they're painful, sometimes they're wonderful, or everything in between. But astrology has an amazing, amazing way of actually being accurately showing. In hindsight 2020 is the best way to use it, actually, but it reflects it accurately in the charts. So it's just an amazing tool and system that way, but it's not what's doing it. It's not the end all be all, is what I wanted to say. That's my belief anyways. So replenish, add to your reserves, because you want to make sure you get enough sleep. You want to make sure that you're functioning as best you can during the retrograde, because your mind and your speaking and your communication will be better. You'll be able to get around town easier if you like to walk or jog, because again, in the neighborhood, small errands. And you'll just be functioning better if you can replenish, rest, R&R, rest and relax, recuperate. I think I have that on here in one of them. But recycle, make sure something old can be reborn. So I like upcycling, recycling. Another reword of being able to wait a minute, I don't have to throw that idea out. I can actually take that idea or that project or that old piece of furniture and upcycle it. I can transform it and make it something that I can keep in my life. Rehash, dive back into something that was thrown to the wayside. I wrote this in the what is the one thing about when I had in mind that if you got in an argument with someone and you kind of had a falling out with someone, so you might want to go back to the dinner table or mediation table with that person and hash it out. So you might have had a relationship where a friendship got thrown to the wayside because of a miscommunication during the retrograde and pre-shadow retrograde or post-shadow. But it might be really good to assess if it's really worth throwing away totally, what pressures were happening. Is it really toxicity, or was it outer pressures, inner pressures that just blew up? And does it really reflect the quality of the people involved or the way that they treat others, or was it just more circumstantial and very short-lived? So reuse. Squeeze as much juice out of the fruit as you possibly can, then get out your peeler and utilize the zest. Don't forget the seeds for replanting. So yeah, reuse. So just basically get as much of the juiciness out of something as you can. Don't waste, you know? That's a good word, reuse. Very, very good. Have fun with that one. Re-up. Raise your hand and try again. So basically show up and try again. Get up, dust yourself off. You know, re-up. You know, like, yes, I will, you know, I'll get up and I'll try again. Re-enter, place one foot in front of the other and place yourself back into the ring. It's kind of similar, is that I'll enter the draw again, you know. Don't count me out. And for Mercury retrograde, it could be, you could go through some disheartening setbacks, you know, some frustrating setbacks, but it's about maybe you gave up on a project or a dream or a task, and you're like, no, let me see how I could be a little bit more patient. Let me see how I can go over the details again, come right back around, re-enter the ring and try it one more time, you know. Rehab, rest and recover. Yep, that's the R&R card that I was talking about, rehab. So replenish, it's like the replenish card, but it's like, make sure that you fill your own gas tank so you can handle all the growth and the evolution happening during the retrograde if you're working on it. Revisit, journey back around in case you missed something important. So revisit things that might be getting fricked up, you know. Revisit, take another visit around the block with projects or things that you might have thrown down in disgust because it's not working. Come back to the go back to the drawing table if you can. Remix, toss it up, shake things up, baby. Yep. Remix. So that's cool. Like if you're like a DJ, like just like if you're an author or if you're a content creator, there's a lot of editing that can be done during Mercury retrograde. A lot of really great editing. So if you're a content creator, editing and remixing are excellent uses of Mercury retrograde. Hello, that is a very, very, very good point for you. So redraw, pencil in those lines and contours another time till it's picture perfect. And it's so funny because I have a really good BFF, my friend, who's probably gonna, she's probably gonna be the person that draws my merch for for this channel later, as I go forward with this channel. But Victoria with Flower Heart Studios, but shout out to her. But it's so funny because she's actually really using this. She started like last month, but she's gonna be using the rest of this time for learning, really studying her drawing right now, really elevating it on Procreate. So I just absolutely just love how I wrote this, and it's so true for her right now. So yeah, redraw. It's like, if you don't like how the picture turned out, then go back at it. And again, patience and self-love. Keep hacking at it with your colored pencils and your paintbrushes and or iPad as she is, and just see how it flows better. You know, you get the better results, the better artwork that you would that you feel better about. Okay, rewrite. Does your narrative need an edit? Take pencil to paper or fingers to keys and let those words flow. So do a rewrite if you need to get your narrative a little bit more perfect to your voice, to your tonality, to fit your audience better. Yeah, whether pencil, pen, or typing, you can, or audio recording, you know, you can get your content rewritten. And then reread, whether it be a contract, fine print of any kind, a sweet internet deal, or a manuscript, etc. Give it a second or third go around with your peepers for good measure. So I mentioned that in a previous video in this series, but rereading contracts as many times as possible, going over the piece, the fine print. Very good idea to reread as much as you can during Mercury retrograde. Re-enlist. It's never too late to put your name back in the drawing pool. So if you had counted yourself out for something that you had originally wanted to commit to, but you had gotten frustrated and or disenchanted, disempowered, then it's time to maybe, if you feel if you're feeling called, then maybe reassess what your motivations are and where your wants and needs lie, and see if you want to re-enter, re-enlist. Rethink. Use that squishy noggin between your ears to crunch the numbers and figure out this situation. Yep, so rethinking it. Because Mercury is the brain. It's the not only communication planet, but it's our literal brain. It's how we think. So rethinking. So we have to be very careful and give ourselves plenty of leeway space to have better rethinking, like thoughts, really thinking it through. And then last one, 25, replay. Or my mom had put re-televised, but it's basically the same thing. Replay. Press the sideways triangle and sit back to view. Let your peepers take another gander to catch any missed gems. So yeah, this reminds me of, like, if you're a content creator, like go ahead and make sure if you're editing your videos or music or audio podcast, anything like that, press the play button a couple times. Make sure that you're good with what your edits, that your content is where it needs to be. Don't be obsessive about it. But also maybe it's a good time to share it with a friend or also a PA to do a little bit of editing, because maybe your peepers are too tired and you need to have it's the one good time to have someone else edit or look over your work, because little things can slip by, Overall, well, there are the 25 rewords for Mercury retrograde, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that gives you guys a little bit of good things to think about, some themes for this Mercury retrograde and such. Please stay tuned, because the next couple videos are going to be really cool and exciting, because again, I have my charts here with Mercury written in all of the charts for Aries through Pisces for your ascendant, or you can try your sun sign as well, and where it lands in Libra and Virgo. And I'll talk more about the specifics of what this particular, talk about communication. I'll start talking about what this specific Mercury retrograde in Libra and Virgo will be like for the collective, and then I'll do a couple of videos on what it'll be for each of the ascendant and sun signs. So I hope you guys will tune in for that. So again, I'm Casey Lee Conley with Astrologically Sound. Astrology is my passion, empathy is my way, love is my vibe. If you'd like to join my tribe, click subscribe and hit the notification bell for those future upcoming exciting videos, and any more that I come out with. I'm going to try to do a pick a card or two for the retrograde season as well, and maybe even some eclipse videos as well, and many more. And hit the like button if you also enjoyed the video. I love you guys. Bye.